Henry Ford. Henry Ford.
Yeah, and several, and when Mercedes bought Chrysler, they brought that technology to the Chrysler plants. But as an American farmer, I can buy a car with that technology, but I can't have grown the hemp in the damn door. Okay, that's wrong. Okay, in eastern Washington and Oregon and in Idaho, and I don't know if you've seen them, but there are, I don't know how many hundreds of circles. You know, a circle is 160 acres irrigated by a circle irrigation. Probably 20,000 acres of fast-growing poplars. Okay, the spotted owl has chased us out of the forest. Okay, we're now dealing with some of our paper needs on the farmland. So instead of growing corn or alfalfa or whatnot, they're growing fast-growing trees. That seems like a good idea on the short haul. What it does, because you've got a crop that now has a cycle of 15 or 20 years to maturity, instead of corn, which has a 6-month cycle, or alfalfa, which has a 4-month cycle, all of a sudden you get into a series of ownership decisions where if I'm going to put this 160 acres in fast-growing poplars for 20 years, what the hell am I going to make money on in the interim? And what it's done is it is moving this precious farmland from private ownership into corporate ownership, because Boise Cascade, you know, Scott Paper Company, whatever, they have the capital to, you know, sit back for 20 years or 10 years and wait for that tree to grow. Beyond all the petrochemical things, beyond all of the other arguments that you've heard, one of the most critical reasons that American farmers should be able to grow hemp is the fact that it puts that fiber production on an annual basis, on the same basis that all other crops, so it becomes a diversification where private farmers don't end up selling out to Boise Cascade. And anyway, I'll close with this. One of the things that happened in Washington State in 1998, by 56%, the state passed the medical marijuana law, and there were a myriad of things not quite right with it. One of the things was it said you were eligible for a 60-day supply. Well, what the hell is a 60-day supply? Well, that question was answered by the Washington State Legislature, who directed the Department of Health to set up hearings, get some draft rules, and lo and behold, after a year of process, a 60-day supply in the state of Washington means 15 plants and 24 ounces of dried material. We are on the edge of the next part of that question of medical marijuana in the state of Washington. Well, supply, 60-day supply. Where does the supply come from? We don't know. Well, in this next legislative session, we're going to have the opportunity for the legislature to direct the Department of Agriculture to start working on that problem. Little things like, well, do you want mold spores in your pot? Do you want, and so from our perspective, hemp and medical marijuana and recreational marijuana are all heads of the same animal. They're all connected in a way, and hemp has had an impossible time getting back into the marketplace because of the social stigma of pot. Well, that's changing, especially as people understand the medicinal value of marijuana. So from this farmer to you, basically, I need hemp in this state because I need to stay diversified, I need to have crop rotation, I need to have healthy choices for my farm and my children who are going to take over the farm eventually, and we as a state need those as well. So.
Thanks, George. My name is David Madeira, and I'm with Hemp Technologies, and we are building houses out of industrial hemp. Yes. That's right, in Asheville, North Carolina. We just finished the first 2 industrial hemp houses in the United States. We're starting on our 3rd one. And as Steve mentioned, you know, we can't use trees, and George talked about trees. An acre of industrial hemp will pull in 4 times as much carbon dioxide as an acre of trees. And as George explained to us, it grows much, much faster. You're talking about 2.5 acres of industrial hemp will build you a 1,400 square foot home that has an R value of 30, which is about twice as much as you're getting right now in what's being built. The life expectancy of these houses made out of industrial hemp isn't 30 years, isn't 40 years, isn't 50 years like we're used to. We're used to building stuff now that lasts no longer than your mortgage. They start out, minimum life expectancy over 500 years.
Damn!
It'll keep your house cooler in the summer, it'll keep your house warmer in the winter. It's absolutely amazing. Unfortunately, I didn't come up with this all by myself. I found it in Europe, because Europe's been doing this for over 20 years, and they're used to building things that last for a long time.
Wow.
And as George mentioned, I can import as much of this as I want. I can build as many houses as people let me, but I can't grow it here. So that means that the price to build a hemp house is more expensive sometimes. And right now I'm working with the Canadian government to build one of their first affordable houses in Winnipeg. So we have a lot going on. Hopefully I'll get to build one here in Seattle soon. Let me tell you, this is a slight waltz section to give you just an idea. It's not finished, but this is what the product looks like. It's breathable. It does not make an enemy of water. It does not trap moisture in your walls. There can never be any mold, never any mildew, never termites, never rodents. And it's not that expensive. If we can let George grow it, we'll build a lot of houses. So these are just a few of the benefits of building with it. This is a breathable material that actually regulates the humidity. So if it's really humid, it will soak in more moisture. If it's really dry, it will let moisture out. So I'm going to go ahead and get the questions going here. I think everybody on the panel has had a chance to...
I got a million questions for you.
Okay.
I really do. I want to know, what kind of binder are you using?
We're using a lime-based binder. Right now we're looking at the binder that we have been using has a little bit of Portland cement in it, and I'm working on a guy in Pennsylvania who's putting together a binder